Hi, Virgo. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Son of Stones, which is the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knights represent change in the suit that they're in. So Pentacles is the material world, our money, our job, our home, um, tangible things. And the Pentacles are a very grounded card. They're represented by Earth, and they move slowly and methodically. They don't thrive on instant gratification, and so for some people they can be perceived as dull, but they it's the slow and steady wins the race mentality that really allow them to look very far in advance and start planning and implementing things that could take years to come to fruition. But they know if they just start putting $5 away a month, or just start walking 15 minutes a day and slowly increasing that they will save money in the long run. They will lose weight and be healthier in the long run. So they're very good at starting and staying with it. So this is the underlying energy this week. It would be, sometimes it never seems like it's a good time to, there's rarely a perfect time for things. There just kind of isn't. And if you're always waiting for the stars to align and everything just to feel perfect and to be absolutely just right, you may never start. You may never do it. It always feels like, oh, I'm too busy, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm too whatever. But if it's something that's truly a priority, like, making sure you have some money in the bank in case there's an emergency, or your health, or finding a job that you're happy in, well, if you need schooling for it, start figuring out how to save for it, how to make it happen. Time's going to pass anyway, and 3 years may seem a long way away, but it'll be here before you know it. So just take the first step this week. It doesn't have to be something huge. It can be the simplest thing, like go to the bank and set up a savings account and put whatever the minimum is to open it up. Just start something. And if you have started some things, just keep maintaining. Don't necessarily psych yourself out or stress yourself out or burn out because you try to do too much too fast. Just keep plugging away and know that in the long run, these steps that you're taking will pay off. And at the same time, anything you may have been working on for quite some time, you may start finally seeing some results. So that's pretty exciting. The first card we have is the Two of Swords. And in this deck, oh, excuse me, I just had a yawn come over me. It's entitled Peace. It's the key word for it is peace, which is pretty interesting because it can be a truce, but often it can be read as indecision as well. So this is saying that it's a two card, so dual for two different things, coming together and coming to some sort of understanding, which allows for sort of a truce, for peace, for a pause, hopefully permanently, but in any sort of, in some sort of conflict that's been happening. This could be an internal thing, but it also could be an external thing. So it's interesting though, I'm already sort of looking ahead because we have the Judgment card, the Rebirth card, the major arcana. So maybe this peace is going to come about by an external force or an epiphany from one of the parties that that all of a sudden they see things from a different point of view, which will enable them this different perspective to if there had been a line drawn in the sand, for example, to see that, oh, wait a minute, maybe this we went about this wrong. I went about this wrong. And I'm just really seeing things in a different way. And it's allowing me to move forward. And see both sides. It's so cool. There's like fire coming over here and water. So passion and emotions. Oh, and there's a baby. Cute. Kind of interesting cards. And if you're really into symbology, I mean, they have all the astrologic signs and all sorts of symbolism all throughout. It would be, there are even crystals on it and all sorts of stuff. So these are pretty interesting cards if you really like to dig deep and learn about all the different symbolism. I find it a little overwhelming. I'd have to start slowly and eventually build on the different aspects, but it's pretty cool. So this card really is about when it happens, you have this rebirth, or someone in your environment has this epiphany. They never live the same way ever again. It could be, an example using low-hanging fruit. If someone is an alcoholic and all of a sudden they've hit rock bottom, but in hitting rock bottom, like something shifts in their brain and they just are like, I will never drink again. And you hear that happening. People are like, and they still will go to get support and everything through things like AA or whatever. However, they're never going to drink again. Like something just happens and they just are changed forever. I'm a little bit leery of that. I'm not just going to all of a sudden someone who's been abusive or difficult or just challenging, all of a sudden being like, oh, I get it. You're totally right. I'm going to change. Like I would personally have to see some action. I wouldn't be able to just believe them if there's a history. So if this is you having the epiphany and the come to Jesus moment, not to mean it religiously, but just a life-changing, oh my God, realization, people may not, just be prepared that you may have to prove yourself. And probably if you're having this epiphany, you'll be able to be like, you know what, I totally understand, because the way I've historically behaved, I can understand why you wouldn't trust me. That, I really do get it now, and I'm going to change for the better. So just be aware that could happen. And we have the Sun card. I mean, for some of you, and obviously this is just going to be a smaller percentage though, but for some of you, there is going to be some sort of unbelievable change in either yourself or someone in your environment that has been causing a lot of difficulty. There's going to be, it's like peace, rebirth, and just an entire change in the way someone's living their life. It's pretty amazing. So, and it may have been a really long time in coming with that Knight of Pentacles at the bottom. So the Sun card's a beautiful card. It's vitality. It's children. So perhaps if some, it could just be like if for some of you with kids, it's all of a sudden like they get their act together and like get a real job and start supporting themselves. And it's like something shifts and they've gone from being sort of the dependent kid to the self-sustaining adult. And, it's like, they're thriving. Someone's all of a sudden thriving and really, really something just really has come together this week, that will literally have a long-standing sustainable change on them or yourself for the rest of your life. It's beautiful.